I started nearly 2 years ago called Community Dining. And the essence behind community dining is to connect people through shared meals, primarily sourced from local and sustainable farms, in order to stimulate meaningful, important dialogue about pressing community and social issues and strengthen the social bonds throughout Chicago area neighborhoods and perhaps other neighborhoods and other cities as well. There's a lot of other information he could share, and with that I would like to introduce Alderman Moreno. Thank you.
I want to start out with a couple thank yous. Obviously Paul and Josh for organizing this, and that takes a lot of effort. I also want to thank Gerard, who is our host in his home, First Ward resident obviously, and others that are here, and then your chef team for the incredible food that they've provided. Thank you guys for your labor. And thank you all, more importantly, as important I should say, for taking the time on a cold Wednesday night to come have a meal and talk about issues. And the issue here is, I would say, one person's economic development is another person's gentrification. Okay? That's right. I know this very well. I don't know if you know, so I grew up, my father, my grandparents are from Mexico, I have my dad here. My mother grew up in a small farm town in central Illinois. And I always say we grew up with a lot of love, but not very much money at all. I keep a picture of my house that I grew up in my office to keep me humble. If you saw it, you probably would not want to live there. It's not the nicest place. Before becoming alderman, I'm very proud I was on the board of directors of Humboldt Park Social Services. They've now changed their name to Center for Changing Lives. That group advocated and provided affordable housing in this neighborhood. I was on another very controversial board at the time called the Campaign to End the Death Penalty. I was a national board member and a local organizer when we had that, in my opinion, ridiculously ineffective and racist policy here in Chicago. I was on the local school council at a low-income school 2 blocks from my house in Wicker Park. So I come to this role as alderman with a little background on the issues. And I would encourage you to take a look at the article I wrote a year and a half ago, not because I wrote it, but the development that's happening on Milwaukee Avenue is tremendous. And when I became alderman 6 years ago, one of the biggest criticisms from our very diverse neighborhood was Milwaukee Avenue's dilapidated. Nothing's going on. What are you going to do about Milwaukee Avenue? We had empty lot after empty lot after empty lot. Closed store. Graffiti issues, gang issues. The Congress Theater's past owner was, the wild, wild west was going on there. And I passed an ordinance, a very progressive ordinance called Transit Oriented Development, TOD, which allows for density by our hard rail. So we reduced the parking there. There are people that live in our city and in our country that don't want a car, don't need a car, and will never have a car. And we have an infrastructure with a divvy bike, on-site car, where we have the density up. But what I made sure of, and there may be some in the room that disagree with this or not, but I made sure as an affordable housing advocate that we would put a minimum of 10% affordable units. And what affordable means, people say, what does that mean? Well, what it means per our ordinance, and I think we could change it a little bit, if you make 60% of the area median income of the county, that rent is targeted for you to pay it, and that's about $28,000, maybe a little less.